Vin Diesel, ladies and gentlemen, and again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Vin Diesel is the latest celebrity bag chaser that is now being accused of sexual assault in order to be able to get that money, in order to get their bag up. I'm sick of it. I'm 100% sick of it, but I need to go ahead and bring y'all up to speed on what's happening out in these streets. This is what's happening with Vin Diesel, ladies and gentlemen.
Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel is being sued for alleged sexual battery by a former assistant. Asa Jonasson filing the lawsuit in LA County Superior Court today. It alleges that Diesel forced himself on her in his hotel suite. It allegedly happened back in 2010 while she worked for him during the filming of Fast 5 in Atlanta. Jonasson claims the actor groped her and pinned her against a wall before pleasuring himself, all while she allegedly refused. The suit claims hours after the incident, Jonasson was fired. We reached out to Diesel's reps, but they did not give us an official comment.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
All right, so let me bring y'all up to speed of what's happening. I actually have the lawsuit right in front of me, and so I want to share it with you guys, and I want to mine this out, and I want to make sure that we hopefully get through this, because I want to actually share with you, not to say that he's guilty, but to share with you to help you to understand exactly what's being filed against him, all right? So, this was filed in the Superior Court of California. Now, the weird thing about this is, I thought that the Survivors Act was only something that they opened up the floodgates for over in New York. I didn't know that this was something that was also happening in California, and according to Variety, they have a different name for it, but over in 2022, basically, at the end of 2022, they gave women 1 year to file civil lawsuits to come after a lot of these guys. And so my guy, Vin Diesel, from Fast and Furious and all of these great movies that came before us, is now one of the people that's at the forefront of the congregation being sued over in California. So right before the statute of limitations ended in California, this woman, who was a former assistant that obviously got fired, is alleging that he had some level of sexual assault 13 years ago. 13 years ago. Let me go ahead and read this for y'all. In the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, you have the woman name is Asta Jonasson versus Vin Diesel, a.k.a. Mark Sinclair Vincent, which is his real name. A lot of y'all probably didn't even know his real name was Mark Sinclair. But Samantha Vincent is actually the president of his company. That's his sister. One Race Productions is the name of the company that he owns. So on and so forth, right? So basically they suing him, her, his sister for firing her, and Vin Diesel. And these are the accusations. Complaints for damages. And again, this is not a criminal complaint. She's never actually went to the police or anything like that. This is just her word saying that, hey, I don't like the fact that he fired me or she fired me, and this is what he did to me. And so it's word for word, his word against her word, all right? But this is what she's filing for. Discrimination in violation of FEHA, all right? Hostile work environment in violation of FEHA. Retaliation, failure to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. Retaliation in violation of Labor Code 1102.5, also 98.6. Wrongful termination in violation of public policy. Sexual battery, negligent supervision and retention, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And she's demanding for a jury trial. All right. Now remember, the position that she held, according to her, was his assistant. Plaintiff brings action against the defendants. Nature of the action. Miss Jonasson is a dedicated TV and film professional who has worked in the film industry for over a decade. In September 2010, she was hired by One Race as an assistant working directly for Vin Diesel. Her first assignment was to immediately travel to the location for the filming of Fast 5. All right. So again, this is back in 2010. She just got hired in September 2010. And so her first assignment was to travel to the set of Fast 5 to work for him directly as his assistant. She quickly got to work organizing parties, catering to Vin Diesel's demands, including staying in close physical proximity to Vin Diesel when he was at parties without his longtime girlfriend with whom he has children because, as he explained, it would provide him with cover if he was photographed with another woman. One night, she was dutifully fulfilling her work duties, including ensuring no photographs was taken of Vin Diesel, who was entertaining multiple women in the Empire Suite of his luxury hotel. I wonder why they named it a hotel. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Thank you, AO. It goes on to say, look, she want to tell everything. He got a girlfriend with children, a baby mama, but he had multiple different chicks at his luxury hotel. All right. Although Vin Diesel had personal security, only she remained in a hotel suite. Now remember, he said that he was entertaining multiple women in the Empire Suite at his luxury hotel. Then she says that only her remained in the hotel suite, so the women felt more comfortable. After the last woman left in the early hours of the morning, she was tasked with ushering Vin Diesel out of the hotel before dawn to prevent him from being photographed and the paparazzi being alerted of his whereabouts. Alone in a hotel suite with him, he sexually assaulted her. Now, this is where it gets spicy. He forcibly grabbed her. Now, I guess this is after he sent all of the hoes home from the hotel. She's saying that he forcibly grabbed her, groped her breasts, and kissed on her. Mwah, mwah, mwah. She struggled continuously to break free, while repeatedly saying, no, 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 I don't want it, I don't want anything, no, no, no. It goes on to say Vin Diesel is physically larger and much stronger than her. This can only be crafted by a crafty lawyer. Vin Diesel ignored her clear statements of non-consent to his sexual assaults. He then escalated his assault and groped her body, dropped to his knees, and pushed her dress up. Groped her legs and attempted to pull down her underwear. Terrified for her personal safety, she screamed, "Oh no!" and ran towards the nearby bathroom. All right? I'm painting a picture for y'all. I'm painting the picture for y'all so y'all can better understand exactly what happened or what she's accusing him of. Okay? Y'all ready to continue? All right, let's go. He followed her. Come here, girl. Pinned her against the wall. Doof, with his body. My chest is big. Grabbed her hand and placed it on his you know what. You know what. Disgusted by being forced to touch his you know what. I don't like it. I don't like it. She instantaneously withdrew her hand and again verbally refused him. Stop in the name of love before you touch my part. Vin Diesel again ignored her pleas. Shut up, woman. And instead pulled it out of his underwear. And began to, while leaning against her, and kept her pinned to the wall with the left side of his body. Miss Jonassen was unable to escape. I'm just going to close my eyes. Scared of angering Vin Diesel by rejecting him further and trying to disassociate, wishing the assault would end. She then heard groaning noises from Vin Diesel. It's Friday, right? It's Friday, right? I'm trying to paint a picture for y'all because the words need to jump off the screen, and that's why I'm telling it to you. All right? She heard groaning noises, and he quickly released and went to the bathroom and turned on the sink. She was frozen. Oh my God, I can't believe what just happened. And unable to move. Vin Diesel then walked past her and said, "No one can say S about Asta." You know how Vin Diesel talk. This is Braga. Y'all never seen that movie? All right, don't worry about it. As he left the room, he said, "Nobody can talk stuff about Asta." That's the girl's name. As she stood alone in the suite, she suddenly felt a mix of relief that the sexual assault was over and panic, and her heart felt like it was about to explode out of her chest. Unexpectedly, Vin Diesel returned. "I'm back." And she felt instantaneous terror. He asked for his phone, and she managed to respond that the phone was in his pocket, to which he responded, "Good job," and finally exited the hotel suite. Mere hours later, she was still processing the immediate aftermath of Vin Diesel's assault. Samantha Vincent, the president of One Race and Vin Diesel's sister, called her. Rather than take any action to actually protect her from further assaults or punish Vin Diesel for his egregious, see, egregious is right here. It's not just me using this word, that's the words that's in there. Egregious actions. Vincent stated that One Race was no longer needing any extra help and terminated her employment, and the message was clear. Miss Jonason was fired for courageously resisting Vin Diesel's assault, and Vin Diesel would be protected, and his assault would be a cover-up. For years, she remained silent, for over 13 of them, afraid, oh my God, to speak out against one of the world's highest grossing actors. Afraid she would be ostracized from the industry, which had a pattern of protecting powerful men and silencing survivors of sexual harassment and assault, and concerned that as a green card holder, I'm not making this up, that's what it says. As a green card holder, that speaking out could jeopardize her potential future citizenship. Indeed, One Race required all employees sign a non-disclosure agreement to prevent them from discussing anything related to Vin Diesel. Empowered by the hashtag #MeToo and the Time's Up movement, and with the protection of the Speak Out Act and recent revival of her claims by AB 2777, Ms. Jonason is unwilling to remain silent any longer. It just so happened to be right before the statute of limitations up before the lawsuit, and seeks to reclaim her agency and justice for suffering she endured at the hands of Vin Diesel in One Race. And then it goes on to say, Vin Diesel, and these are the defendants and the individuals and blah, 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 so on and so forth. Yada, yada, yada. Let me see if there's anything else in here. General factual allegations. Work in the film industry. All right, go ahead. In approximately August or September 2010, One Race interviewed Mr. Johannesson at the office of his in Beverly Hills. Interviewed her, recorded the interview using a professional camera and tripod, assured her that working was for the benefit of Samantha Vincent. Ms. Jonason later learned that Vin Diesel would say that if something is not on video, that it did not happen. During the interview, hiring and throughout her employment, she was led to believe that she would be assisting the film production for the fifth installment of the Fast and Furious franchise. Was in production in Atlanta, Georgia. Signed a non-disclosure. Asked how soon could she fly out to Atlanta. Assists in the film production. She was there the very next day, greeted by another female employee. She was tasked with planning a Labor Day barbecue for some of the Fast Five cast and above-the-line crew members. His partner, Paloma Jimenez, told Ms. Johannesson that the food servers at the barbecue must all be beautiful women. Understanding the assignment, she contracted an attractive female celebrity chef for the barbecue. The barbecue, which took place September 6, 2010, was attended by high-profile guests. She received positive feedback in the performance of setting it up. And he also had multiple rooms at the St. Regis Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia, including the hotel's most upscale room, the Empire Suite. Female acquaintance, blah, 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 blah. Believe the supervisor intended to provide privacy for Vin Diesel and Ms. Jonason's female acquaintance. Oh, snaps. This is a completely different thing. At the time, Ms. Jonason believed the supervisor intended to provide privacy for Vin Diesel and Ms. Jonason's female acquaintance. However, the supervisor continued to entreat her to follow him until they reached his hotel room. So this is an entirely different guy. All right, cool. When she entered the room, the lights was off. The supervisor did not move to turn the lights on. Instead, the supervisor took his shirt off, got in the bed and said, "Come here. Come here." Appalled, she immediately exited the room in the hotel. On September 10th, the supervisor instructed Ms. Jonason to go to the club, Havana Club in Atlanta as part of her work duties. She arrived at the nightclub. Vin Diesel was surrounded by club hostesses and approximately 2 of his private security personnel. He drank throughout the night, continued to socialize with multiple female hostesses, each dressed in lingerie-inspired outfits. She did not drink alcohol as she was on the clock in the early morning hours. His security left the club to return to the St. Regis Hotel. Approximately 4 or 5 hostesses from the nightclub returned with Vin Diesel to the hotel. However, her work for the night was not complete, and she was instructed to return to the hotel to continue working. Security told her to go upstairs, stay close to him. She received a phone call from the security stating that Vin Diesel was not answering his cell phone. He needed to leave the hotel immediately. The hostess exited the bedroom, leaving the door open, joined by a waiting co-worker, exited the hotel suite. Ushering Vin Diesel out of the hotel, she entered into the main bedroom to find Vin Diesel lying clothed sideways on the bed with his cell phone on his dresser. She stood at the side of the bed near Vin Diesel's feet and informed Vin Diesel that his security team had called, urged him to answer his phone, and that it was time to leave the hotel. She picked up his phone from the dresser and motioned for him to take it. Instead of taking the phone, Vin Diesel grabbed her wrists with one of his hands and pulled her onto the bed. She landed on the bed facing Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel entrapped her in a bear hug as she immediately tried to escape his grasp and get off of his bed. She tried to de-escalate the situation by telling Vin Diesel to stop while continuing to attempt to wrest free of his grasp. Eventually, she was able to squirm away from his embrace and took the opportunity to drop Vin Diesel's cell phone into a pocket of his cargo shorts, expecting that he would refuse to take his cell phone if she offered it to him again. Then she ran out of the bedroom and stood by the front door of the suite for Vin Diesel to gather himself and leave. He left the bedroom and began walking towards her. She hoped that he would leave without any further instance. He instantly reached for the door so Vin Diesel would exit the suite, and he immediately stated, "Don't open that door. Don't open that door." She followed his instructions, unsure if Vin Diesel was still intoxicated, growing increasingly concerned that he would not leave. He then approached her, forcibly hugged her, continued to embrace her for a period of time. She felt uncomfortable and felt powerless to stop Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel was her supervisor and physically larger and stronger than her, and she was afraid for her personal safety and job security. Vin Diesel proceeded to grope her body, including her breast, forcibly kissed her, who continuously pleaded with him to stop. He ignored her pleas and starting to kiss her chest and her collarbone. She was afraid to more forcibly refuse her supervisor, knowing that getting him out of that room was both crucial to her personal safety and job security. But this hope died when Vin Diesel dropped to his knees, pushed her dress up towards her waist, and molested her body, running his hands over her upper legs, including her inner thighs. He moved to pull her underwear down. She screamed in a panic, ran down the hallway towards the bathroom, knocking Vin Diesel to the floor. So as soon as she started pulling them panties down, what she's saying is she visibly got scared, screamed, knocked the huge Vin Diesel over to the ground, and then ran over into the bathroom. And then he stood up and he said, "I am Groot." And then he went over there to her and grabbed her left hand and placed it on him, and then it went down from there. It goes down in the DMs. That's crazy. That is crazy. Nothing else to hear now. So now she's asking for money 13 years later. And she's asking civil penalties, not criminal penalties, civil penalties. And she's asking for a jury trial. Conversely, according to Deadline, Vin Diesel categorically denies the allegations. And he says that, hold on. Basically, he just says that he denied. Okay, here it is. Let me be very clear. Vin Diesel categorically denies this claim in its entirety. This is the first he has ever heard about this. This is more than 13-year-old claim made by a purported 9-day employee. And there is clear evidence which completely refutes these allegations. So apparently they got receipts. That's what the D's is saying. The D's is saying, listen, I got receipts. I categorically deny what happened. And we got receipts of what's really popping. So Anton from AntonDaniels.com is going to have to stay on top of this. But more importantly, what are we learning here, ladies and gentlemen, before I read the super chats? What are we learning here? As Vin Diesel and every other celebrity, including Jamie Foxx, are all being accused of things by women that are inspired by Cassie and the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement. What do we learn from this, fellas? The same thing that I've been preaching to you since the beginning of time. You are nothing but a come up. You have to protect yourself in any way possible. Be very, very careful. Have a level of dig discipline, and don't keep anybody in your purview that you can't professionally deal with. And listen, this is a shakedown, in my opinion. I do not inherently believe anybody, especially since Vin Diesel saying that he got receipts. So he said that he denied it. I'm not Diddy. You're not about to come up off of me, and ain't nobody gonna continue to get no bag off of me.